What's up, YouTube? Capital G here. Got some good Sky Striker duels for you guys to check out. The first duel is going to be pretty much to a T, the height of the Sky Striker power, showing you guys how to actually play the deck. I know some of you guys get frustrated. You're like, Cap G, why do you go out of your way to find the worst Sky Striker players on the freaking planet and then put them on your channel? The deck is much better than you actually showcase. And, you know, I'm objective. I know Sky Striker is a really good deck. And you will see in this first duel how ahead it can get, even in the first turn when it goes second. So zombies are up first, and you know, his opponent is going to get pretty much the perfect top deck, which is Twin Twister. Twin Twister means he is going to shut down that zombie world on field, also get rid of the back row. Ash Blossom is going to be used against the copy of the Vampire Sucker, and then he's going to hit the Baller Drock with Impermanent, so he doesn't have to worry about that big boy either. And then even with just 2 cards, man, this is why I used to say that this card should be hit on the ban list. In fact, not even used to say, I think that this card still should be hit. You activate it, get yourself a plus, activate it again, get another plus, activate it again, get another plus. Just like that, he's got like 5 cards back in hand, and I'm pretty sure he's not even done using the Mobilizing Gauge. He'll probably just use it off the Kagari, add it back to his hand. So I think that's what, like, using Mobilizing Gauge like 4 times in a turn. He's also going to start running over monsters with Hercules base, getting even more draws in the 2 hand traps. You gotta love that. And then at the end phase, he's not only going to get a search, but then also probably set some cards back from the copy of the not Area Zero. What is this card called? Multi-roll. And also, in addition to this, he just banished his opponent's Baller Drock to make sure that couldn't come out, because he did have himself a field spell. So you can tell that this duel is over. He can just hand trap whatever his opponent wants to activate. He uses Bigfoot. Who cares? Random danger monsters in your opponent's hand don't really do anything unless you can actually like use the monsters on, unless they like summon themselves, like Danger Snake or something like that. Now, the one thing about the Sky Striker deck is it doesn't like really do damage. I mean, your opponent can have like an open field with no resources and you do like 1500 damage. So, you know, it does take you a little bit to actually win, but you can see that essentially every card he has is just like some form of disruption with the Impermanence somewhere. No, I think that he saw Impermanence off of Area Zero, didn't take it, but he has Effect Veiler, he has Ash Blossom, he has Shared Ride, he has Eagle Booster for his own protection, and then of course he has Widowmaker. So that duel was an absolute blowout, and even without Twin Twister, I still feel like that's generally what you should expect out of Sky Striker. Our second duel is also going to feature the Sky Striker deck. The pilot's not going to be as good as in the opening duel, because he's going to make a mistake right off the jump. Maybe it cost him the duel. I guess we'll evaluate it as it actually plays out. This deck at the top, he called it Lunalights, but I'm not going to call this Lunalights, because Lunalights don't play no damn Quick Draw Synchron and Mask of Restrict and you know, pendulums like this. I mean, you don't play this in the main deck. The only pendulum Lunalights generally run are their own scales, because, you know, Serena is a Lancer. Watch the anime if you don't know what I'm talking about. But anyways, his opponent is going first with the Sky Striker deck. Opens up fairly good in my opinion. I mean, as long as you're getting the Ray, he does have to give up a Terraforming, but he's getting a Search. Here's where, like, I just look at the Sky Striker player and I'm just like, well, I guess you just punted on the game. You didn't want to win. Solemn Strike, that does a lot of good in your hand, right? Like, Kappa. I just don't understand why he wouldn't set that, because you could just like stop any monster effect your opponent has, and you really know you don't have any defensive cards anyways. I don't really consider Eagle Booster. I mean, it protects your monster, but it doesn't actually stop any of your opponent's plays. So I don't understand why you would not want to set one of the best counter traps in the game on the field turn 1, but whatever. His opponent is going to go for, I believe, an early, well, he goes for an early Tiger King, so he could have solemn that, which means the Tinky just would have never happened. His monsters would have never been negated. He goes for Needle Fiber. That would have been even better to solemn, and, you know, all of this stuff could have actually been, it could have actually been stopped had he just had the foresight to set a trap card on the field. He does have the Kaiju Waterfront. Now, at this point, I was like, yo, I think he can search a Gamma Seal, and then he can actually, like, use the Gamma Seal off of the Surge Skull Dread Summon, and that is a walking ban banish Infernity Barrier at that point. Gamecill is really, really strong, but instead he's actually not going to go for that. Goes for Nightmare Phoenix. He's going to go ahead and, take his shot at popping the back row. Mask of Restrict is maybe somewhat useful against Thunder Dragons because the fusion monsters are tributes, if I'm not mistaken. That's why they trigger the Diablos, but not really particularly good against, a deck like Sky Striker. Well, I mean, I guess it makes it so like Ray can't tribute herself, but I don't know if that's really enough to keep it in the main deck. Anyways, let's see if he can fight back. He gets Mobilize Engage, one of the best cards in the deck. Probably going to get it right back. His opponent doesn't really have anything to actually stop him. Well, he has a Lost Win. I'm shocked he did not use Lost Win right on the Kagari. If you get rid of your opponent's Kagari, you know 100% they're going to go right back into their extra deck and you just reset this. So he could have just stopped his opponent from even using Jam and Wave. I thought that was a little weird that he just didn't. But whatever, he goes for Hayate for the battle phase and for the attack. And looks like he is just ultimately going to end on Shizuku. So even when you play Sky Striker bad, it's like, a bad Sky Striker player is still going to be, having a lot of resources just because it's Sky Striker. Like, the deck is still phenomenal. You see he is able to get the Gamecill on deck, or on field, but when this Saryuja tries to activate, that's going to be hit with the Solemn Strike. Couldn't he have just stopped when he tried to special summon? Couldn't he have just used the Solemn Strike there? It seems like it would have been a better use. He's going to go for Nightmare Cerberus, then goes for Astrum, uses the Kaiju, and now his opponent, since he has a monster in his main monster zone, is now locked out of those beautiful spells and traps. He also went for a Time Thief Redoer in that case, but looks like he is able to at least pop one of those cards. If he goes for multi-roll, he can... Oh, no, I'm trolling. He can't use multi-roll. I'm like, if he goes for multi-roll, he can pop the other one, but no, he can't. Now, I know that he did make a token because both players can actually use the tokens, but he actually has to run into the Mech Knight Crusadia Astrum, which sucks because it's going to activate his effect. He's doing that so he can get a monster out of his main monster zone, but that's not the monster you want to run into. He's going to go ahead and use Heavy Storm Duster. That will be obviously negated, and pretty much I think that this duel is over. But oh no, actually hits him with the Witch's Strike. Not bad. It's a pretty random main deck tech, but it just doesn't matter because Astrum is still on the field and it's just a little too strong. I believe that the Star Leash right here makes it so your dudes can't be destroyed by opponent's card effects, so that's why you're wondering, like, hey Cap, why didn't the Witch's Strike nuke his entire board? All these monsters are over, I think it has to be 21, or no, it might be 2,000. Yeah, any monster that's over 2,000 attack cannot be targeted. They also can't be destroyed by card effects, so they all become Magispectors, and Witch's Strike would have been really good if his opponent had a big hand and if he also just like didn't have this on the field, but with this card, the Star Leash protecting all his monsters, it just wasn't going to do anything. So there you guys go. We got a little bit of the good and the bad when it comes to Sky Strikers. Hopefully you guys enjoyed those duels. If you did, give the video a thumbs up. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on that notification bell for daily videos.